शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
नानामतं महर्षीणां साधूनां योगिनां तथा दृष्ट्वा निर्वेदमापन्नः को न शाम्यति मानवः। कृत्वा मूर्तिपरिज्ञानं चैतन्यस्य न किं गुरुः। निर्वेदसमतायुक्त्या यस्तारयति संसृतेः। So even in the pursuit of self-knowledge, there may be many conflicting opinions floating around. So one should have that sense of discrimination, what is called akshira nira viveka, to sift what is right from that which is not that correct. Otherwise there is no end to the Shastras. Lord Krishna himself tells in a place, Uttara Gita, to Arjuna he says, Ananta Shastram Bahuveditavyam Alpascha Kalo Bhavascha Vignaha Atah Prayatnad Jnatavyam Tattvam Kshiramivambu Mishram Hauso Yatha Kshiramivambu Mishram. Ananta Kalam Ananta Shastram Bahuveditavyam. The Shastras themselves are endless. Bahuveditavyam, things to be known are in abundance. Many of them are there. At our disposal, alpascha kalaha bhavascha vignaha. Even if a person survives for 120 years, the time is very short to study all the Shastras. Alpascha kalo bhavascha vignaha. Alpascha kalo bhavascha vignaha. Time at our disposal is short, and even whatever little time available to us, obstructions are many. Atah prayatnat jnatavyam. Therefore, a viveki, what he should do, with due efforts, with right efforts, one has to take to the right measures only and not get involved in so many things. jnatavyam. So therefore, with right efforts, one has to, that means, know what exactly the essence of all the Shastras. It is not that our life is meant only to study the Shastra. Otherwise, if mere studying means we miss the goal and get carried away by the mere, that is dialectical content in the Shastra, that is not the goal of life at all. So the direct cognition of what the true nature, that is very important. So that's yes. So अल्पश्च कालो बहवच्विकाः अतः प्रयत्नात् ज्ञातव्यं तत्त्वज्ञम् आत्मनः हौसो यथा क्षीरमिवाम्बुमिश्रम्. Like what they say, the celestial swan has got the capacity to separate the milk from the water, whatever it may be, maybe some chemical in the mouth, etc., whatever it may be, that is what is the concept. So like that, what is the essence one has to take to and not get engrossed in other superficial things at all. So that is why. So there are many matas, etc. available. So having developed indifference towards all that, so one should concentrate on direct cognition of one's own true nature. So having given up all the karmas, one should be jnana nishtaha eva. For that, what is to be done? He says, sixth stanza, nirveda samata yuktya. Nirveda, we have seen, nirveda samata yuktya. So nirveda means vishayana sakti, that is asakti with respect to the vishayas. What is samata? Samata is sarvatra shatru mitreshu samata, that equal-mindedness with respect to shatru mitra, surun mitra ridasena, ari bandhushu, all in all these things having oneness, because see, one and the same Atma Tattva abides in all. I don't hate myself. If I don't hate myself, others also are embodiment of the same principle. I should not hate at all. So therefore, samata. Samata is shatru mitreshu samata. Why? Sarvatra atma buddhi. So, sarvatra atma buddhi. Everywhere, that one and the same Chaitanya Tattva, Atma, abides. Just as one electricity abides in all the electrical gadgets, so in all the upadis, in all the beings, one and the same Atma Tattva abides. So therefore, samata, that is what is samata. Because we have seen this in the past. See, there is a subhashita. Akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaraha keshavam prati gacchati. Just the rainwater that falls from the sky, finally, directly or indirectly, it goes to the ocean. So also, you may salute to any deity. That namaskara, salutation, goes to whom? Keshavam prati, means goes to Ishvara only. Ishvara Tattva. At the same time, the reverse also is true. Akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarva jiva tiraskaraha kam prati gacchati keshavam eva prati gacchati. It also goes to who? Keshava Ishvara. But you say we don't care for Keshava, why should we bother, is it not? So that unto that Ishvara only that tiraskara goes. So therefore hating anyone is hating Ishvara. Hating Ishvara means hating oneself only. So therefore say samata. See, because if you hate, what happens? You may say that fellow did like that, he deserves hatred. Whether that person will be at loss or you will be at loss. Suppose you hate someone very intensely. Who loses the sleep? Who loses the sleep? Whether person who is hated or the one who is hating. You are so wise now. so damage your interest. I don't know, some sadistic satisfaction is born of lack of thinking, lack of proper thinking. Dvesha is born of lack of thinking. You are not going to gain anything. On the contrary, there is a loss on that account. Even from the Vyavaharika standpoint, from Paramarthika standpoint, nothing but loss. Do you know why? If you hate, the truth is the one and the same Atma Tattva abides in all. In fact, abides also is not correct. All are nothing at one and the same principle. Just as one and the same electricity is everywhere. When you hate some person, that hatred presupposes what? Division of I am this body. See, look, all these desires, hatred, raga, dvesha, the sense pleasure, all are centered with one, that means point being taken for granted that I am the body. Now, not only I am the body, okay, but I am separate from that person. That is the end of it. How can you appreciate the oneness of the Atma, Brahma, Ishvara everywhere? That there is nothing, you see, people say where is God? The question is where God is not. There is nothing other than God. The entire Jagat itself. See, Tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhuta etc. The entire creation is from one principle. You just eliminate one principle, the Chaitanya Tattva, the pure awareness principle. You can't say anything exists, because even it is not possible to say that there is nothing. You know why? And the entire creation, the only one cognitive principle, that is the only cognitive principle, Chaitanya, which is all pervasive. If you eliminate that, even you will not be able to make a statement that the world is not there, because you can say the world is not there provided you cognize the absence of the world. To cognize the absence of the world of Chaitanya Tattva, the cognitive principle, knowledge principle is required. It's just not possible. Science investigates everything, but the fundamental one thing they never care, nor they have even suspected that such a thing is there. Even if told by other thing, that this all-knowing attitude makes them think that is all nonsense or something, myth or something. So this is where it is. So that's samatha. If I hate someone, I will deny myself the presence of the same principle, the all-pervasive principle, Atma or Ishvara, in others. So samatha. Then yukti. Yukti is the reasoning in accordance with Shruti. It is not independent yukti, otherwise independent reasoning has no end at all. So it should be in accordance with the Shruti, in the sense, whatever that is told in the Shruti, how it can be so? Those reasonings have to be seen. So nirveda samata yuktya chaitanyasya murti parijnanam krutva. So with this preparedness, the person who gains the murti parijnanam. Murti parijnanam means swarupa sakshatkara, the direct cognition, otherwise called as aparoksha jnana, aparokshanubhava, or direct cognition, the direct appreciation of what chaitanyasya. See, murti also means the embodiment. Embodiment here is not the upadhi of body, etc., means the swarupa of that. So therefore murti parijnanam, that swarupa sakshatkaram of what? Chaitanyasya. What is the Chaitanya? Satchidananda Rupa. The ever-existence principle, the very knowledge principle, and nothing but Ananda, independent of anything whatsoever. So this Chaitanyasya Murti Parijnanam Krutva means having got that, having accomplished the direct cognition of one's own Swarupa, which is Chaitanya, which is ever-existent principle, Ananda Swarupa, the very knowledge principle. Now Saha, that person, he is like this. Saha Naking Guruhu. See in the book, Na Kim Guruhu, these three words are there. Actually, it should be one word, one phrase. Naking guruhu is a very peculiar Bahuri samasa. So, naking guruhu means nasti kaschit guruhu yasya saha naking guruhu. Na for no one. Kim for kahapi. Kahapi na guruhu asti yasya saha. The one who has no guru at all. Achha? So Shastra says acharyavan purusho veda tadvidyanartham sa gurumeva vigachet. All these are told. Now why is that he is the person who has no guru? Because it is not that he doesn't need guru. He did take help of guru, but now he doesn't need the guru. That is nasti kaschit guruhu yasya. To have guru, what is required? I am, with respect to guru, who am I? I am Shishya. If I say Shishya, who is that Shishya? Chaitanya is Shishya or body is Shishya? Body is Shishya. Body is taken as I, and the guru is taken as different from me, and therefore what? He is the guru, I am the disciple. So again, what is that? Veda bhavana is there. Now one whose mind is so rooted in the knowledge, one who has cognized that everything is one and the same, this identification with the body is not there, division of Guru Shishya also is not there, division of Ishvara and Bhakta also is not there. Saha naking guru. He is the person who doesn't have even a guru, because he is the only one that is the principle that abides in and through the creation, that alone is. Right. That is actually the real guru's job. I read somewhere, see, in the context of this teaching to the this how to teach a language. See, the best teacher is the one who makes oneself redundant in course of time. There is a sense in it. The best teacher is the one who makes oneself redundant in course of time, not all their lifelong dependent on the teacher. I think it applies more in Adhyatma. Other schools, colleges, universities, once that is degree is over, you are out, you have nothing to do with the teacher. But still the teacher's job is to see that everything is imparted to the student, and the student doesn't need the teacher anymore. So it more applies so in the Adhyatma, because so this is a pursuit which can continue for any length of time. So that is, so now once the disciple discovers one's own Sarupa, after the role of teacher is over. With that attitude of gratitude, some relation may be there, that is fine. But actual teaching is no further required. That is the right type of guru. Otherwise, not that keep the clientele for whole lifelong. That is not what is expected of the real this thing. That's why I see, even after very long exposure to Vedanta for years together, if one has not discovered or one has not directly cognized one's own Swarupa, two possibilities are there. Either the teaching is not correct, or the tuning on the part of student is not adequate. So these are the only two possibilities. If the student is confident, the tuning in the sense, what is the tuning? Sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Accomplishing the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, and amanitva, the assets are values. If that is perfect and yet it is not, this thing means the teaching is wrong. Or if it is teaching, nothing wrong with that teaching, and still the person has not got, means sadhana chatush sampatti is not there. Many copies are there. One may have that semblance that, oh, I have got vairagya, but deep down there are many desires, etc. They will be there as such. So therefore, only two possibilities are there. Here is the one who has no more the necessity of guru, because he has discovered oneness in everything. So that person becomes Naking guruhu. Saha is the one who has no guru at all. Naking guruhu. Such a person. So, evam vidaha samsrutehe. Evam vidaha yaha saha there, adhyara was there, saha atmanam. So, evam vidaha, such a person. Yaha, whoever is so, saha, that person. Atmanam samsrutehe tarayati. So, makes oneself cross over the samsara sagara. So, means gets freed from samsara, becomes, that means muktaha. So, this is how. So, one has to give up all karma. Again, one has to give up all karma means one should be first eligible to give up all karma. Other lazy guys will do it. This is exactly what he wanted. So, see? So, who wants to do all these things? So Shastra itself says, Ashtavakra says, such a great master says, no, first be eligible to give up karma and then give up karma. So that is, this is for a person who doesn't need any further karmas, because Vairagya is there, Antakarana Shuddhi is there. Then don't get engrossed in the karma, utilize that time for higher pursuit, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. So for such a person is there, put forth effort for gaining Jnana Nishtha only. Now, this is all after gaining what is called as Chaitanyasya Murti Parijnanam Krutva. Having got the direct cognition of Chaitanya. The question is, how are you to gain that knowledge? How? That means that direct cognition, Sakshatkara of Chaitanya Satchidananda Swarupa. How is it possible to gain? So for that now a clue is given. This is the way how one has to proceed. That is the Swarupa Jnanopaya of Chaitanya. Means Upaya, the means by which that Swarupa of Chaitanya can be directly cognized. Pashya bhuta vikaram stvam bhuta matrat yatharthataha. तत्क्षणात् बंध निर्मुक्त स्वरूपस्थो भविष्यसि. त्वं भूतविकारान् plus त्वं becomes भूतविकारांस्त्वं. त्वं भूतविकारान् यथार्थतः भूतमात्रा पश्य. भूतमात्रात् पश्य. एवं सति अध्यार एवं सति त्वं तत्क्षणात् बंध निर्मुक्तः एड सन स्वरूपस्थः भविष्यसि. एवं सति तत्क्षणा बंध निर्मुक्तः सन स्वरूपस्थः भविष्यति. By the way, एवं सति. Evam sati, if you want to see, evam, after what is there? Anuswara is there. If you want to elide this anuswara, then you have to bring the ardhanuswara of vakara. It is evam sati. Like Trambakam yajamahe becomes Trambakai yajamahe. Now evam sati. So that va has no nasal otherwise. So therefore ardhanuswara, that vav, evam sati. So that way. Evam sati or evam sati. Of course, this is not, it is only in Vedic you say. This Ardhanuswara, the Anuswaras are avoided to the extent possible. Why extent possible? After Anuswara, if any of the consonants of Papa, Babha, Ma, Papa, Babha is there, you can't do, because even nasal also is Ma, Papa, Babha, Ma. So therefore, except per category, so any other comes, you can say not Yaralava. So you can take the Anuswara. If per variety comes after the Anuswara, you have to pronounce Anuswara as Makara only. There is no option. So, Tvam Bhutavikara. यथार्थतः भूतमात्रात् पश्य. Say, actually this stanza speaks of the viveka of drik drishya. Drishya is always jada. Drik is the Chaitanya Tattva, the cognitive principle, the only knowledge principle. So now all drishyas are comprised in terms of these bhuta vikaras. The entire jagat is made of 5 elements, and whatever that are, those are the products of the 5 elements. Now you investigate. Let us start with our own body embodiment. This body is made up of, gross body is made up of Panchikrita Panchamahabhutas. Pranas are made up of Rajasic aspect of Apanchikrita Panchamahabhutas. Sense organs, that means sense organs and Antakarana are made up of Sattvic aspect of Apanchikrita Pancha Mahabhutas, including the Ahankara, etc. Now what is left out? What is left out in the creation? So, all this is nothing but Pancha Mahabhutas only. Chaitanya is separate. So, all these are inert in nature, therefore drishya. So, therefore that elemental aspect is taken into account now. Tvam. So, bhuta vikara. So, all bhuta vikara means the entire creation, gross level and also subtle level. So, both at gross and subtle level, bhuta vikaran. How do you say? That means reduce them to their respective causes. Bhuta matrat pasya means know them to be nothing but these 5 elements only, and that means it is not Atma Swarupa. All that is there in the creation made up of 5 elements are inert in nature, and that cannot constitute Atma. It is not the Swarupa of Atma. So anything that you come across, whether at one's own embodiment level or in the creation, which is inert in nature, is the product of the 5 elements, either singly or collectively, and it is inert in nature, and because it is inert in nature, it cannot be Atma. You may not have the direct cognition of your true nature, but one thing is certain, everyone knows positively that I am a sentient entity, a Sachetana entity, and never inert in nature. So therefore, all that is inert can never be Atma. Therefore, entire creation made up of 5 elements is not Atma. That's what is said is Bhutamatrat Pasya means know them to be only inert element and not the Chaitanya Rupa Atma. And in this manner, so by shifting the Drishya Jagat from Drik Swarupa, Chaitanya Swarupa Atma, and directly cognizing this Atma, Chaitanya Rupa Atma, what will happen? The result is Evam Sati. So if you accomplish this, Tvam you Tat Kshanadeva. From that very moment, Bandha Nirmuktaha San, being totally free from bondage. Bandha Nirmuktaha San. So how? Totally free from bondage, Bandha Nirmuktaha. What is the Bandha Nirmukti? So getting rid of the identification with the body. The Sharira Aham Bhava, that I am the Sharira, this wrong notion has to be got rid of. So Bandha Muktaha, Nirmuktaha, San. So that means separating, isolating in terms of discrimination the body etc. from Chaitanya Rupa. See? Actually, Drik Drishya Viveka, or otherwise called as Chit Jada Viveka, this is the most direct approach to cognize one's soul Swarupa. For this, what is required is Shuddha Antakarana. So if Drik Drishya Viveka doesn't work, all that it means is it only words. The teacher says that is Chaitanya, but here what is there? Inside what is there is volcano only. So because everything gets superimposed on that, Chaitanya, the one is not able to appreciate what the Chaitanya is in its true nature. That is why Shuddhantakarana is very important. Shuddhantakarana means peaceful mind. People think that by taking to Vedanta they will get a peaceful mind, but Vedanta presupposes a peaceful mind. Of course, Vedanta does give the means like Karma Yoga, etc. Bhakti, Karma Yoga, these are means for commanding the mind which is in silence, but they have to be made use of. Merely knowing will not help. Say, oh, Karma Yoga gives Shuddhantakarana, Bhakti gives Shuddhantakarana. You are not going to get Shuddhantakarana. Make use of these means, practice is involved, time is involved, immediately you can't get Shuddhantakarana. So therefore, take the appropriate measures. So therefore say, so otherwise, the Chit-Jada Viveka or Drik-Drishya Viveka is the most direct approach to appreciate one's own Swarupa, because if you just analyze your own embodiment, what do you find there? Both Drishya and Drik. You can't miss them. So first, that means that Drishya can never be missed. Whatever is available as this, that is what is the Drishya. And because of which you are able to cognize, that is what Drik, that's what is there. So the Antakarana is like a canvas, and what you remember is like a picture, illuminated by whom? The Chaitanya, that is your Swarupa. Therefore, don't have this hostility towards the thoughts. On the contrary, you should thank the thoughts. Do you know why? Thoughts are the ones who are most proximate to Atma, your Chaitanya Swarupa. With the help of these thoughts, you can arrive at Chaitanya. You know, especially in the botanical laboratory, suppose a specimen is studied under the microscope. There are very different, that means vivid features are there. But being colorless, one is not able to, that means see them clearly. So what they do is, they put some pigment, some color they put. When they put the color, those features pick up those, absorb those colors, and they are seen very vividly. Now this color is not part and parcel of that specimen. At the same time, it has helped us to know what the specimen is, and when you cognize that, you know that specimen free from this color. So like that, these thoughts can serve, because Chaitanya is which is nirguna, attributeless. It has no features of its own. So these thoughts, irrespective, don't bother about however horrible thought it may be, however ugly thought it may be, however noble thought it may be, it is a thought. That thought serves as a pigment there, with the help of which you can cognize your Swarupa. So therefore you should be thankful to this thought, because they are the most proximate to Antakarana, is the most proximate to Chaitanya. And Antakarana is the one where the Chaitanya Tattva can get reflected in its true nature, provided we are able to check these visheshas or attributes that can abide in Antakarana. So, therefore he says, so that is Bhuta Vikaran, that is the Tatkshana, by that very movement only. So when we are able to discriminate the Chaitanya from the Jada Swarupa Upadhis and the entire creation, from that very moment, when you have no more identification the embodiment because of the direct cognition of Chaitanya Swarupa Atma, from that very moment, Tatkshana, Bandha Nirmuktaha San, having got rid of this erroneous identification, Swarupasthaha Bhavishyasi. So, knowing fully well the Sharira, Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara, Indriyas, Pranas cannot be Atma, that you will abide in terms of cognition of Swarupa, the Chaitanya, Swarupasthaha Bhavishyati, means your mind will get abided in this Swarupa Chaitanya. Now one may say, well, I may gain the knowledge with ready mind, with the discrimination of this Chit-Jada Viveka or Drik-Drishya Viveka. I may gain the knowledge, but how can I make the mind get absorbed in this knowledge, what is called as Jnana Nishtha. So Jnana Nishtha, because even if I cognize for a while, that earlier errors, habitual errors of taking the body, etc., I will continue. So how can I get rid of them? So for that a clue is given, a means is being given here. Vasana eva samsara iti sarva vimunchata. Tatyago vasana tyaga sthita. Iti and karana taha sarvaha vimuncha vasana tyaga, and the atmanishtha vasana tyaga atmanisthayam cha satyam adhyara. Atmanisthayam cha satyam tatyagaha. Stop. Next sentence. Adya sthitihi yatha, add prarabdham tatha. Yatha prarabdham tatha eva. Eva also again to be added. Vasanaha eva samsara. So now the context is of how we can make the mind firmly abide or get absorbed in this knowledge, otherwise called as Jnana-nishtha, which also is called the state of Jivan Mukti. The state of Jivan Mukti. A person, see again this Jivan Mukti also is not properly understood. We say Jivan api muktaha, Jivan muktaha. One who has got Jivan Mukti, Jivan muktaha. What who is that Jivan muktaha? Jivan api muktaha. Liberated even while living. What exactly it means? A person who doesn't have even the least trace of the dehatadharmya, even by habit, that person, and the person who cannot lose sight of one's own swarupa, so that person only can be called a Jivan Mukta, means Jnana-nishtha is indispensable for Jivan Mukti. Now, even if a person has got knowledge, so that if that mind is not able to get absorbed in the swarupa, Jivan Mukti is not possible. For this, lot of practice of nididhyasana is required. In that context, so how is that in spite of gaining the knowledge, he is not able to appreciate one's swarupa, that means persistently? The reason is, in his antakarana, there are the samskaras of past vishayas, past experiences, etc., which are called as the vasanas. Vasanas are impressions carried by the antakarana regarding this, that means earlier values, sense objects, earlier experiences, etc. So these pose the hindrance, and because of that, in spite of knowledge, the consistent appreciation of Swarupa is not possible. That is what denies the Jivan Mukti or Jnana-nishtha. So now what is to be done? By repeated nididhyasana, one has to overcome this vasana. So therefore, from this context, in this context, vasana eva samsaraha. Vasanaha eva samsaraha. Samsara is nothing but vasana. Say the exact role of vasanakshaya. What are vasanas in detail? What is the exact role of vasanakshaya? What are the means? I have discussed in detail in the commentary of first chapter of Panchadashi, because it's a very confusing topic it is. So, vasanakshaya doesn't come in picture as far as Atma-jnana is concerned. Vasanakshaya has its role with respect to Jivan Mukti and Jnana-nishtha. So a person who has not got Jivan Mukti, one who has not got Jnana Nishtha, but he has got Jnana, is certainly eligible for Videha Mukti. So only because Jnana Nishtha is not there, Jivan Mukti is not there, Videha Mukti after the fall of the body, provided that Jnana is there, Videha Mukti is not stalled. But if Jivan Mukti is required, Jnana Nishtha means Nirvikalpa Samadhi is indispensable. So I will discuss in detail. You can refer to the commentary on first chapter of Panchadasi. For the first time this topic has been discussed in such a thoroughness, because I myself had this doubt. Many complex were there for that. I had gone to the originals and based on the Upanishadic, that means data. So what has been thoroughly thrashed, you can refer to that. Fine. So that vasanaha eva samsaraha, that is what is samsara. Iti karana, because of this reason, taha sarvaha vimuncha. Having given up them means you can't give them up just like that. So they can go only in nididhyasana. By repeated nididhyasana, only they can be eliminated. So they have to be counteracted. Because now the samskaras are Vishaya samskaras. So now the opposite samskaras have to be made more powerful. What are the opposite samskaras? Samskaras born of direct cognition of one's own Swarupa. To enhance those samskaras, you have to take to repeated nididhyasana. This is what is said there. A jnani has nothing to do with respect to karma, upasana, etc. So he has to take to repeated nididhyasana only. So and why nididhyasana required? As Vidyaranya Muni puts at one place, idanintanaha. See, that means this, in the present day world, people who have no proper readiness of the mind, means who have not taken to proper upasanas in the past. Upasanas give the chitta naishchalya. Without taking to the right upasanas where they can command the steadiness of the mind, with little vairagya and enthusiasm, they enter into Vedanta. And if the teacher is a proper teacher, because of that means the dexterity of the teacher in terms of the teaching, these fellows are able to appreciate something. But what happens? It is like the burning charcoal carried on the Times of India, folded 8 times to, that story. A bachelor, not nowadays with electric, this thing, all stove, etc. available. A bachelor, he wanted to, that means in those days, no shegdi, chula. So he wanted to light the chula. So he had no matchstick, nothing is there. So he went to the neighboring lady. Can you give few burning charcoals? Because she is readily obliged. But what vessel you have brought? I have not brought thing. I have got Times of India Sunday edition. Is there very thing? So I have already read it. So therefore I will carry on that. He folded 8 times and took the burning charcoal. What happened? By the time he can enter the house, what happened? So it fell down. So like that, maybe the teacher had somehow pushed through, like the pushing in the mouth of the children, no? Mouse. What is that? Chew. What is that? Cow. What does cow do? Ka. Push the morsel of the food in the mouth. So like that, teacher might have done that, but what happened afterward, that also goes, because the mind is not ready. These people are called as akrita upastayaha. Means upasanas have not been taken to properly. But Vedanta says, well, now it is too late, never mind, take to nididhyasana. Therefore the remedy given to these people, well, on repeated nididhyasana, in the course of time you can overcome and have that absorption of the mind in the knowledge of oneself. So in that means by that you are generating the opposite samskaras born of repeated direct cognition of one's true nature, which counteract the earlier samskaras. This is where the vasanakshaya comes in picture. So therefore, that is what is said, taha sarvaha vimuncha. Having given them up all, say tatyagaha bhavati, tasya tyagaha. By that what happens? Tasya means, see, what is that tasya tyagaha? See the earlier equation. What was the earlier equation? Vasanaha eva samsaraha. Samsara equal to vasana. You have given up the vasanas. Then what is given up? Samsara. Therefore simple. Tasya tyagaha means samsarasya tyagaha. So therefore tasya tyagaha samsarasya tyagaha. Samsarasya tyagaha means even in terms of our daily experiences, samsara is not there because the fellow has got jivan mukti, means firm abidance in the knowledge of oneself. So therefore, on account of this, vasana tyagat atmanisthayam cha satyam. So by vasana tyaga, see now this, understand vasana tyaga properly. Why? Here vasana tyaga how? By repeated direct cognition of oneself. That means earlier samskaras are given up. That's why that atmanisthayam cha satyam. So otherwise you can't simply give up vasanas. See, as a theory we can say bad vasanas have to be counteracted by good vasanas. But these good vasanas also have to be removed, because in the ultimate analysis, good vasanas also are bondage. They also serve as the bondage. That's why karma, etc. have to be given up. Why? You see, a karma nishtha, a person who follows Vedas, who has got good samskaras, dharmic samskaras, yes, good samskaras, but they are also binding in nature. So therefore, those good samskaras also, vasanas also have to be given up. They can be given up only in the repeated cognition of one's own swarupa. That is what is here said as vasana tyaga. So, atmanisthayam cha satyam. So when the atmanishtha, that is the firm abidance of the knowledge of oneself takes place, they say satyam. So satyam tatyagaha means samsarasya tyagaha bhavati. And thereafterwards, so once this jivan mukti state or jnana nishtha is gained by vasanakshaya in this manner, by gaining atmanishtha, then they say for that person adya means today, means right now. Right now means when vasana tyage sati, when all these vasanas in this way are given up, he says of that person adya sthiti, his status, condition in life is what? Yatha prarabdham tatha bhavati. The person has no further purusharthas, and then what happens? Yatha prarabdham tatha bhavati. How he lives is as prompted by or guided by the prarabdha karmas. Right? The self-effort is not involved. Why self-effort is not there? Self-effort is meant for accomplishing dharma, artha, kama, moksha. When the moksha is gained, there is no purushartha required. So therefore, like that, what they say, we give the example is that of a dry leaf. A dry leaf is carried away hither and thither by the wind. So it has no will of its own. So also, how a jnani conducts oneself in life is determined by one's own, his or her own prarabdha. So adya yatha prarabdham means in accordance with the prarabdha, tatha bhavati. That way one conducts oneself. So in this manner, so one has to, that means totally grow out of sin. Instead of saying giving up of karma, better grow out of karma, means until it is necessary you make use of them. Afterwards grow out of karma, take to jnana, gain the nishtha, and live that. Thereafter how one lives depends on prarabdha karma. In this manner, the nirveda, so Nirveda is Vairagya, but not simply for karma only. Sukha, dukkha, results of that is papa, punya, all with respect to all that is there. One has got that is Nirveda for Vishayas, that person is able to gain, that means the Ananda Swarupa of that is one's own true nature, the one that person is able to cognize. So, that means the cessation or the freedom from hankering for sense object can lead to such discovery of one's own Paramananda Swarupa. Therefore, the teacher now is praising this, that means the Vairagya from the sense objects. Vihaya Vairinam Kamam Artham Chanartha Sankulam Dharmamapetayor hetum sarvatrānādaram kuru. Kamam vairinam vihaya anartha sankulam artham cha vihaya anartha sankulam artham cha vihaya and tatha etayoho hetum dharmam api again vihaya etayoho hetum dharmam api vihaya sarvatra anadaram kuru sarvatra anadaram kuru. Kamam vairinam vihaya, having given up whom? Kamam, the desire. And who is the desire? Who is the enemy? For us, desire is enemy or friend? Desire is our enemy or friend? Be frank enough. How can desire be enemy? Huh? Desire the fast friend, is it not? Desire the fast friend. See, look, if desire is not, how can you get the desired whatever you want, how will you get? Huh? How is it possible? That is our problem. Desire is for desired objects, beings, events. What do these things give us? We hope they will give us happiness. Whether they give or not, different thing. But they are happy. But we hope that they will give. But suppose, let us be optimistic. And they give, let us say. From where do they give? If desired objects, beings and events are, let us say, if they give us happiness, from where they give? From themselves only, themselves. You know what I have done? I have told many times. These guys have totally robbed you once forever, because who are you? You are Ananda, Paramananda Swarupa. They have robbed you and made you dukhi, samsari, and then what happens? So little joy they give here and there. You think that, oh, they are very frank because they give us. Suppose a very skilled pickpocket, you know what he does? You have been to the market with a liquid cash of 75,000, let us say. You wanted to purchase some sophisticated gadget, and 75 because cash payment has to be made, that will not work. So you went with 75,000 in your pocket, and you are cleanly picked up your pocket, and you are not aware of that. And such a way that you will not get that means the slightest hint that you have been robbed. Now you need money. So there are many customers were there. Next thing you are searching here and there and seeing your plight. Somebody came in very odd with a friendly attitude, etc. What is the problem with you? May I be of any service to you? May I be of any service to you? So all this sweet honey with tongue started thing. And he posed as well. He said, yes, this is what it is. Never mind, this is my address. You can what to do is what. You can take it and you can return after. What? Immediately you wanted only 15,000. Immediately he gave you 15,000. So he said, very kind person, right? So he gave me 15,000. So 60,000 were in his pocket. So that is that. So like this, that means the desire means ignorance of one's true nature. You are robbed of your Ananda Swarupa, and then little, that means tinsels of joy here and there are given by this. Actually it is a dangerous Shatru, you know, right? An enemy, if he comes with the dagger in the hand, at least you can take precautions to protect yourself. Suppose the enemy comes on a birthday with a birthday gift, and if you know what is that, I think happened in the case of one Prime Minister of India. Of course, somehow it didn't come true. Somebody came. So I think that the farmer, not present farmer, Charan Singh, Charan Singh only. So on his birthday, somebody came with a beautiful box of present, but inside, below that he had the knife. So anyway, that was soft, etc. That's why. So who is more dangerous? This enemy is more than the dangerous who disguises as the friend. So therefore, that's why it says, Vairinam Ramam, Vairinam Vihaya, having given up. So also, again, Vairinam Vihaya, further, Anartha Sankulam Artham Cha Vihaya. Then Artha. Artha means all securities, money, etc. Money, possessions, properties, etc. So, what type of Artha they are? Anartha Sankulam. Anartha Sankulam means that which is nothing but bundle of all the sorrows and calamities only. Why? Artha means money. Let us say now, just say money, property, etc. To earn money, property, what is required? What efforts required? Difficulty is involved in that. It's not that easy. I think maybe nowadays easy for a particular class of people who can enter politics. That I don't know what it is. Because I think difficulties may be there. So Anartha Sankula means, see, there are difficulties in earning, having earned, difficulties in protecting, having protected, difficulties in spending also. Because it's hard to spend, that's other thing. You have to spend. So therefore, Arjane Dukkham, Rakshane Dukkham, Veja Dukkham Eva. So therefore it says all nothing but is Anartha Sankulam. That is Aneka Shoka Dukkha Sankulam. That which is full of sorrows or difficulties at every step of it. So that is what Anartha Sankulam Artham Cha Vihaya means not running after them. So that's somebody said. See, then properties. What's the nature of properties? The spelling of property itself shows. Properties are not properties, Properties are not properties. Therefore, they are improperties only. Think of it. See, if you just listen, it will not, but you have to, that means think, you will understand after getting few those in life. So Anartha, so this is why danger of Ashtavakra Gita, For a modern man, this was against progress. All these fellows are talking all this nonsense. These are one of the danger. The danger was giving up a karma. Third, nothing but danger is licentiousness. Many have done damn themselves. Because somewhere you say, what is wrong in that means? Indulging in the sense pleasures. I am not akarna, bhokta, etc. That person can say because from his level, if other one admitted they have done it. I think Pune variety is a product of that, I believe so. Because I have been told that he has given his talks on Ashtavakra Gita are 12 volumes itself. People fall for because they want both, no? So that's what it is, not a true thing, but the danger is like Ashtavakra Gita. That is what means licentiousness and justifying a sense indulgence. So that is what the answer was given, the different context from the level of his total absorption in the Swarupa, where the Akartrutva, Bhoktrutva are very clear, but other fellow takes it means we damn oneself. So now it says, Anartha Sankulam Artham Cha Vihaya, having given so also in the same manner, Etayoho Hetum Dharmam Api Vihaya. Now think of it. The Hetu here is the means. The Hetu is the means. The means of these two. So means of these two. Etayo means who? Kama Arthayo. Of this Kama and Artha, the means of these two. So what is that? Dharma. Now see what is the role of dharma. Dharma means acting in accordance with dharma and avoiding adharma is in the context of acquisition of artha and kama. Actually, four purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. It can be viewed this way. Artha kama to be pursued in accordance with the dharma as told here, or artha in accordance with the dharma, kama for moksha. That's the proper order. Not this what these serial fellows tell. These serial fellows will tell something, and I have ransacked all shastras. He may read all things, but what capacity to understand that means Mimamsa must be there. They will say, they will pose as if they are authentic. Be careful with what they say as such. So that it has to be done this way. That is one way of looking at it. That is artha kama to be pursued in accordance with the dharma, keeping aside adharma. Other way is or pursue artha in accordance with the dharma and let your kama desire be for moksha. So that is how the order of pusharthas is there. Now here it is said that is pursuit of artha kama with dharma, because adharmically it should not be pursued. What does it mean pursuing with dharma means? You have to employ only dharmic means to earn artha, and you should entertain desires which have got the sanction of the dharma shastra. Desires which are adharmic in nature don't take to means of earning artha by adharmic means also don't adhere. So that way, now in that sense, the means for artha and kama is dharma. When the dharma, artha, kama pursuit themselves are given up, there is no need of dharma also. Therefore it says, Etayoho hetum dharmamapi vihaya, having given up, sarvatra anadaram kuru. Sarvatra anadaram. Anadaram means upeksha, be indifferent with respect to this. Now sarvatra anadaram kuru, therefore let me have anadara for moksha also. Not you can't throw the baby along with the water. Except moksha, other three pursuits, trivarga they are called. They say this dharma, artha, kama. They have anadara means indifference toward them. Why indifference? Because you are so preoccupied in the pursuit of moksha that you have no time and leisure to take to this, because however much you may accomplish, they are perishable in nature. You can't be totally satisfied. Now, having heard this, our usual revolt may come. How are we to give all the desires for all this mitra, kshetra, etc., all they say, money, etc. Generally people may say. So how can we give up all this? Time is over. How are we to give up all this? Because, see, disinterestedness in all this desired thing, how is it possible? For which the reason is being given. We'll see. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः
Shanti, Shanti.